Hey, do you ever feel like when you start a new project or start a business or go on a new venture or whatever it is, that there's oftentimes this like chaotic piece that comes right after it, almost like a wave that hits you right as soon as you decide to say, yes, this is the direction I'm going to go. Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about why that is and what you can do about it. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Friday. Every time I say that, I think about that song. It's Friday, then it's Saturday, Sunday. Oh, man, it's good to be here with y'all. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Chris Creed. Welcome to the Wake Up, Get Better podcast. I couldn't sleep last night. I actually had a cold for the last day and a half. And then I went to bed super early last night, like 7:30 or something crazy. And so because of that, I woke up at 2 this morning. And so when I say I couldn't sleep, I just meant I couldn't sleep past 2. So I woke up at 2, couldn't go back to sleep, had the inspired idea to, instead of like scrolling or reading or whatever, to just, see if I could go back to sleep. I decided to turn on Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. So it's been a while since I've watched them, but I really love those movies. And one of the things I really love about them is the fact that it is such a pure example of the hero's journey. And oftentimes use that as an example in webinars and trainings a lot because it follows such a crazy, beautiful arc. And when you watch it, it's beautifully shot, it's beautifully done. So it's an adventure epic, right? So it's really fun to be a part of that. But if you really start to feel it and let yourself absorb it, that story can change you. And the reason I say that is because we, as societies, and I've talked about the hero's journey on this show before, but this, as our society has formed, we as humans have just always been obsessed with stories. We're storytelling creatures, right? So I'm watching the Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. I had no intention of watching it all. I was hoping that I would be able to go back to sleep. But I ended up watching the whole thing. And there's this part in the story where, they've already left their known world of the Shire, the comfortable, soft grass Shire that they know and love, the hobbits, right? And they go on this journey and they end up at this pub where they run into Aragorn, right? And they run into him because they get attacked by these creatures. And at the end of that, after Aragorn saves them and kind of relocates them and helps them escape from that, they get to this part where they're walking into the woods. The hobbits don't really know what's going on. Aragorn knows kind of what he's thinking to do here. But one of them asks, "Hey, where are you taking us?" And Aragorn says, "Into the wild." And I love that so much because when we're creating something new, when we are putting something together, when we're in the creation mode that all of you know very well, when you're in that mode, it is the unknown part. Like some of it, because maybe it's what you do, maybe it feels comfortable, but in order to create something that is uniquely yours and that actually matters and is going to change things, you have to be willing to go into the unknown. You have to be willing to go into the wild. And so we all have to face this wilderness, right? And what happens immediately when you go into the wilderness? There's going to be obstacles, right? So they get attacked by these things again, right? Like almost as soon as they're in there and they think they're comfortable and safe, they get attacked. And so it's something that is so normal. And this is not just something that happens inside of stories that we love. It's something that happens in real life. That's why we can relate to it so much, right? Myron Golden says it like this. He says, "Disruption always follows intention." And so when you set it as a goal or set an intention or and start down a path, you can expect for something to go awry. You can expect that. And what's so beautiful about that expectation is that when you know that like, okay, I'm going to decide to do this. I'm going to decide to, lose the weight, to write the book, to start the podcast, to start the business. I'm going to make the video. Something is going to be disruptive in that process. It's natural. It's the natural cadence of creation. When you start on something, when you embark on something, you can expect for something to go wrong. And if the more you fight that rhythm, the more frustrating it's going to be. But if you just look at it and say, oh man, disruption follows intention. Like I just decided to do this and now here's the disruption showing right up just on time. Cool. And when we don't stop because of the disruption, we just keep going, right? When Frodo and the crew get attacked again, they don't just stop, even though like Frodo has this like nasty sword wound that he's going to die from. They have to go forward or Frodo dies, right? They have to go forward. They have to continue the mission because it's too important. They can't turn back now. I don't know if you guys have heard about, there's an element in storytelling called the inciting incident. And basically how it's described is it's when the main character walks through a door that they can't walk back out of. It slams shut behind them. They can't turn around. They have to move forward. And that's what starts to progress the story and make it move. In Lord of the Rings, that inciting incident is when Frodo is handed the ring. And it indicates then that he is the hero of the story. And now this burden falls on him and he has to take it. Now throughout the whole beginning of this, he's refusing the call, right? He doesn't want to do it. He doesn't think he can do it. He tries to hand it off to other people. And this is just me nerding out about story right now, but that inciting incident is the thing that kicks it all off. If you start to look at your creative life and your life as an owner, even where you're starting things, you're creating things and you're making other people's lives better by what you create and creating your unique contribution. If you start to look at that as a calling, as something that has been handed over to you, that was your inciting incident, that was a door you can't walk back out of, then you have no choice, my friend, but to go forward. And when the obstacles come, as they inevitably do, because that's what happens in the wilderness, when they come, you keep going forward because we're not going to stop because this is too important, right? So I wanted to encourage you. I wanted to share that with y'all today as I was watching this movie at 2 a.m. this morning and then kind of geeking out about story is like the wilderness is where the magic happens. And when you step into the wild, you can expect disruption. You can expect it to disrupt your intention, but that doesn't mean that you stop. It just means that you're in the story. That's all it means. And we're going to keep going. All right. I love you guys. Happy Friday, or whenever you're watching this. I hope you're having a fantastic week. And if you're a creative or an owner and you would like to have more flow and focus in your work, I would love to have you in my group, Flow and Focus. So you can go to chriscreed.com/flow and sign up there for free. And I'll see you on the inside. All right. Bye.
There's nothing to get you. Can always turn it around.